Hi everyone, welcome to another video of Mesolid Visual. Today I'm so excited with what I'm about to share with you guys. This video came at a point whereby we're tossing around ideas with all the consultants that are involved in this project. Like I mentioned, this project is ongoing, it's under construction, so yeah, I'm determined to share everything with you guys up until it gets completed. So the challenges that this project brings in front of our desk, it's immense because it's a complex project in terms of its features, its flying beams and projected or protruding slabs, or cantilevered slabs. So it's quite challenging, and I'm so excited because where there's a challenge, there's an opportunity. So I try by all means to learn new things as well, and while I'm still doing that, I trying to share everything with you. So if you look at this roof, it has a lot of gutters, concrete gutters. Let me zoom in so that you can see the bunch of gutters here, and in conjunction with the slabs, the roof slabs. So the idea of having this type of gutters is to try hide the roof. So if you want to get this modern look, you would have to hide your roof. So that's the only way we can achieve that. But it brings us a lot of challenges to address, and we have to be critical in a lot of aspects. So the main challenge here is to drain the water coming from the roof and bring it down to the surface. That's a challenge, a huge challenge. But what I came across a site about Siphonic roof drainage. This helped a lot and gave us an idea on how we can go about with the drainage of our roof. So I'll put the link in the description so that you can go and check out this guys, the link for their website, so you can learn a lot, and it can maybe you would get interested in their products, and you can also not only in product but the whole concept of this kind of drainage. It's not only for roof or for roof drainage, also for stormwater drainage. It's also perfect for plumbing and sewer drainage, as you can see. So here, let's get to it. We have points of collecting water from our gutters, more especially where there's concrete gutters, as you can see around the roof. So what I did here is it's a rough drain. For example, we have 3 collection outlets there, and then we have the other one here, the other one there, with running down. There's a duct on this column, as you can see. Let me just show you on the ground so that you can see it. This is the duct I'm talking about, and these are the pipes running down or running from the top. So let me isolate this so that you can see, or let me change the graphic override to a plumbing. I've set how I want to x-ray this elements to see. As you can see, that's how it works. Unlike before, where we were running, each and every outlet would have its own or individual pipes running down to discharge water. But in this method, you can have outlets in different points. I can have outlets around this roof, and then use one pipe to run from there, like this one. You can have one pipe running all the way. It can also connect with the other ones that are coming from this side, as long as you have space to place those pipes. And remember, try to place these pipes where there's, in case of worst case scenario, it doesn't affect or doesn't cause a lot of damage. You know what I'm talking about. When it gets leaks here, it's going to be a problem. So try to be strategic on placing all these things. So if I cut a section here and see what have I done, let me open this. Let me cut a section here. What's wrong with this? I want to cut a section somewhere here. Then F5, hit F5 to show it in 3D. So with this design, I have this channel I can run. This channel is underneath the concrete gut. I can run all my piping. So if you can see here, we have also a channel here. I can have all this thing packed to this, and I'm going to close off this. It's going to be accessible in case of maintenance, the like. I'm going to use maybe rhino boards or any different materials to just to have this closed. Yeah, that's basically what I'm going to share with you. But it's not only this part. If you look at this design, it's more complex. So I'm going to show you, or I'm going to demonstrate or take you through draining all aspects of this. We have this side is one that is challenging, because if you look at here, let me zoom in there. If you look at here, collection of water from this slab, it's challenging. You don't have where you can discharge, and the pipes, we don't have where they can run. We have a gutter here that is being shaded with this vertical members, and then we have two roofs from both sides that also need pipes to drain, especially these ones. It's challenging. So this idea of siphonic drainage system is perfect, because you just need one pipe to collect water from all the points you've placed, and then you can run it down. So in this case, we're going to have an outlet underneath here, and then for this area as well, here we can also collect and run and have an outlet here when water will be dropping. We can have some planters here so that we cater for the falling water, or for the dropping water, sorry. Yeah, and then this side also, we need to run pipe that will go all the way to this duct, because there's no way we can drop the pipe in this area unless we drop it down here and then run it to this duct. That's another challenge to look at. And then we have features like these slabs are very complex to drain, but what we did, we've kept it around. We're using an opener, what do you call this, opening tool, to punch in this capping to the concrete. So it's also another aspect of advanced modeling. So for this, we're going to have a pipe, a collection point here, and then have a pipe to run, and then it can drop on this. This one, I'll take a compromise of having it exposed to certain area, which is this side, but I can also play with some shading device to cap in and close it off if I want. But because it's on a hidden part, you cannot see pipes unless you are here, but doesn't give that negativity on the project. So I think it's perfect. And then we have also these beams that we use to run pipes from collecting water here, and then there will be a pipe that will go down and discharge it from here. So I have this placed on the drawings, but it's just the 2D. Let's go back. Let me just show you. Let me change the graphic override to something that you would see perfect. Yes. We have here, this is just 2D to represent the downfall of the pipes coming all the way up, and then we have this duct that runs all the way from the top, and then this will be a pipe that will be crossing from the roof slab to the end at some point here to be exposed. And then if you go to the first floor, let's set this to colored A. That's where we'll be having a drop off from that slab, and then we have another drop off here by this concrete, and then the other one there. So we have these two ducts. They're small ducts, just specifically meant for this type of, or this function of collecting rainwater from the roof. Okay, now let's get into the making of it. So to start with, I've created an override of which is plumbing. This has an X-ray of all the elements except the elements that I'm working, which are plumbing system, or the rainwater system, to be visible fully. And this allows me to reference and relate. So it's very difficult to have one mode of viewing or appreciating your project. So in this case, I have different types of graphic override just for preview. So when I was on the floor plan, I was choosing the back and forth in terms of the graphic overrides, because they are the ones that meant for printing. You have to have the end goal for your project. So the printing graphics are not great normally in the screen because they have a thin margin weight and heavier, so they are not attractive, or maybe they're not very good for screen display. So it's better to balance that and have the one you would use for your presentations, the one you would use for your construction documents, and so forth. So you need to have that in your mind. So let's start. I'll go to the roof plan and identify. Every system has the starting point or the distribution equipment. In this case, equipment is this roof or drain object. This is an object that is coming from the plumbing library, and it's a round roof drain. We have different types of drains here. We have this one for floor plan, also for floor drain. I've used this before, and then we have also this one for floor drain. I don't see it. You can also use it on the roof if you want, but this one, the reason why it's like this is to capture some foreign materials that are not supposed to get inside, and they're going to block the system. So yeah, and this is an MEP object, so don't worry about that, as you can see. Okay, so I'll pick, or I can pick 3 of them and then drag Control to add a copy. I'm going to start by this area here. So for the slab is at 6.2 height, so I'm going to place it here, so that, yeah, let's place it there. Make sure it's nicely placed, and like I say, it's at 6.2 height, but the home story of this element should be at roof level, because you're dealing with the roof. And then once we're done with this, let's check on the 3D, or we can mark you this area. You need F5 to adjust your elements accordingly. So I'm going to take that and bring it down to the top of your slab. So there's clashing of materials. I don't like it this way, so it's better you sort out issues like this. I'll make it 8. Yes, yeah, perfect, and then nicely placed. So by so doing, I'm seeing a discrepancies here in the model. So this is, it happens more often, more especially, and you need to understand. Oh, it's because there is no, what happened here? It's supposed to be a beam that runs away. If I Control L to bring layers, then I switch on the layer combination for all elements. Need to now fix that, but I still see there's a problem. I don't know if this beam moved. Okay, is this it needs to move all the way from here to there. So you see now it helped me to rectify this. Then this I can stretch to there. Keep your model as much as you can intact, because that's a source of information. So you need to try by all means to be perfect in terms of your modeling, as you can see here. So anything you see that is small, fix it, because once it's it will accumulate and becomes a huge error. So try to get rid of these tiny problems and to have an intact model. I use this model even at site. I carry it with the pad, and whatever, if there's anything to clarify, we just open that and run them in conjunction with drawings using a BMX app. So it's great to do that. Okay, so from here we can activate the plumbing plumbing graphic override and see, because let's go back and see, because what we need to have here is to join these 3 outlets to be with one pipe, and then that pipe would collect water from these three guys, and then it will run down using or through this column, and then it's going to discharge underneath here. This one is straightforward. I've started with the easy easy task, if I may say. So now I need to create a system that will combine these three three outlets. So I would select them, make sure they are grouped, and then hit F5 to isolate them. Once we've isolated them, what you need to do, let's go to options and working environment. We're going to activate or load a profile for MEP engineering. So once you're done, let's drag the routing here. What we want is to run a routing from there to here, from here to there. So a routing, it will have a starting point. So when I was doing this, I didn't create a system because I knew I would come and share with you guys. So I was just doing it because just a demonstration for the consultants I was with. So we need a system that will be putting all these things under. So let's go to the here at the top, because we've loaded the MEP profile. It will come up with the tools, as you can see from here. These are the duct tools, pipe work, cabling, and then together with the 2D documentation. Here there are also MEP tools. So if you click on this one for the system, it will bring all the system that comes with the template by default. So we need to create our own system. So our old system here is for roof drainage. So hit new, then I'll say roof drainage or stormwater, or let's just say stormwater drainage. Okay, then I'm going to give it I'm going to use a blue color for everything for this system. The surface will be, let's find a blue, paint blue. Let's go for a 17. And the contour of the pen, let's make it 0.9. The contour, the outline of the elements on the floor plan is going to be black, but filled with a 25% fill of a blue color. So it will be with a screen background. We can make it transparent, but you would want them to outstand. So in terms of the tools, we're going to use a pipe work instead of a cable tray. So we have different types of tools here, like I demonstrated on the tool palette there. So from here we hit OK. Let's see the insulation surface, aluminum, but I don't think we need an insulation surface. Let's just leave it as it is, as an aluminum. Hit OK. Then from here, make sure the layer is active. We're using a plumbing system. So what I need to do is to run a routing from here to there of pipe work. For you to run a routing, you have to start first by establishing the specification in terms of the thickness, the radius of, or the diameter of your pipe work. In this case here, we have where the pipe is connecting is this point, and we need to set this to a standard pipe. So in 100 millimeters diameter, I think it's fine. So the connection type will be on welded, of which is fine. So if you go to general settings, we need to assign it a system. We've created a system which is stormwater drainage, and then connection length 80. I think this is subject to change. It will depend on your space you have. In tight corners, it may decrease. In bigger spaces, you can increase it. So yeah. Then also this will be dependent on the surface of the system, so it's not a problem. Let's see. Then we hit OK, because the system will set it to be on blue in everything, so that's why you see it changing like that. So we need also to set the pipe that we're going to, the pipe system that we're going to use to equal the mouth of, or the outlet, or whatever you can call for this outlet. Okay, I hope I'm explaining this clearly. So if you don't understand, or if you don't get it, make sure you go to the comment section, let me know. Maybe I can create a separate video as well that is specifically addressing your needs. So it's important, guys, for me to have you on board and to understand this. So I already have this on 100, which is the 100 millimeters for the diameter of the pipe, which is okay. The MEP system will run under stormwater drainage. So I'm setting the routing that I'm going to do. Alright. So every system starts at a point. So we have this construction method, but this one, don't worry about that. You can go sideways, up, down, whichever you want. And then these are the way we want to, the anchors, the anchor point for every system. We use the center point of which you can see here. We already have a hotspot there to grab. Okay, so it starts at 0, which is 0. So this is important. If you're gonna start at 0, it will pick the floor level, the 0 floor level of your project. So in this case, we have this there at height, a specific height we need to determine so that we can key in this information here. So to determine the information, you put your cursor here and then you hit on Z, which is the height coordinate, and then it will activate the tracker, and then it will give you the Z value there. What you can do is Control C to copy, and then we're going to paste that information there. Now we can start our routing, but before we start our routing, let's go to the routing options as well. We see we have connection type welded. It will depend, yeah, it's subject to change. I'll show you again other methods. We have flanged. So let's start with the welded, and then I can demonstrate later the flanged one. The insulation, we're getting rid of insulation. We don't want to see the insulation because this is not a complex or sophisticated pipe or pipe work. It's just for collection of storm water, and doesn't necessarily to have all the layers. So let's start the routing. We'll pick this point, right? And then would now have to specify we're going down. So I'm going to say this, right? You see, now I'm restricting to horizontal, right? And then click here, and then we're going sideways now. Let's go sideways. Let's activate this one. Okay, should be this one. Yes. I don't know, it wants to follow the. All right, now I see. So we need to specify the second point of the pipe, so which is this point. What happened? It didn't happen the way I wanted. So let's start it over again. Okay, let's say that's the same height we're looking at. We've pasted, and then what you need to do is let's start and then pick this, and make sure you choose the direction of your flow. In this case, you need to create a space, zoom out at least a bit, and then click somewhere here, change the direction, and shift and hold to restrict it to go horizontal, and then from there you can pick the point for this item. Let's change the direction going up, and then what you need to do is to click there, and then we can finish routing. Perfect. So that's basically what I wanted us to understand. And you can come back and adjust all this. For example, we can select that, and if we move down here, you can move it back to the accurate point. Perfect. We need also to connect this pipe or this outlet to the system. How do we do it? We use a different approach in this time. We're not going to run a routing. Hey, with this name, routing. Hey. Okay, so let's go to the pipe work, and then we're going to find a takeoff. See this tool, a pipe takeoff tool. Click on it, and then for this tool to work, guys, I've heard a lot of people complaining that this tool is not working. There and there, yeah. It's because people want to pick the surface of the pipe that they're off taking from. You get, if you click on the surface, nothing would happen. So you need to hover around the midpoint of the element you're trying, or the pipe you're trying to take off. For example, you see the Mercedes-Benz cursor, then you know it's ready to take off. You click on it and then you choose the direction. In this case, it's going to be up instead of down. We're going to have the one that for going down, the one that will collect and take this system down to the surface. In this case, I'm going to say up. There we go. And it has to be connected to this, and by the look of things it's not inlined. The points are not inlined, so I can for you to navigate efficiently on MEP, you need to select one item, and then that's when you can orbit like I'm doing. So in this case, I'm going to try inline this case. So I would want a point where I can see the midpoint or the anchor point of the pipe, and then the anchor point of the outlet or the equipment. So then I'll say select this, then I'll use move tool. This move tool, I'll just find, and then it will snap the, as you can see, it snaps the anchor point for the outlet, and then click there. You get it. So obviously it will affect here, but that is not a problem. What I can do, I can just also take it down to the midpoint. It will also snap like so. Perfect. And then I can complete it with a pipe that will connect it to, or I can just run it straight, stretch it by this to there. Perfect, right? Isn't this great? Very great. It's exciting. Okay, so we need now a downward pipe, and that will be dependent on the takeoff from this guy. So we're using the same tool. I can still pick parameters of the tool and then move around there. Once the Mercedes-Benz is active, click and indicate the direction. If you don't see it, you can hit O whilst you are still in the process, and then so that you can see the arrow. You see, I can see the arrow. You can go sideways, down. Let's go down with. Perfect. And then from here I can run a routing down through the column. So let's Control A and show all, so that you can see all. Let me just click on the BMX that I've preset. The BMX 3D that I've preset. This is the guy here. So I'm going to select this column so that I can understand the connection between the two, right? Or what I can do the same like I did. Let me hide this slab layer, and then I think that's the perfect room to work with. So the pipe will be coming here, and then it will bend like this and then go all the way like that, right? So let's pick the value of this. Like I said, you put your cursor there. Once the cursor snaps the point, and then you can hit on Z, and it will bring in the tracker. The tracker would have the Z coordinates highlighted. It's a matter of you to Control C and copy, then place it there. Place it in your MEP routing file. From here, what you need to do is start routing. I'll pick the point. What's going on? I think oh no. The reason why it gives us this arrow is because it's starting with the okay, no, sorry. We are on track, guys. I was a little bit confused with what type of maybe. Don't worry, we are still okay. What we need to do is to change the direction, because you see it wants us to choose the sideways or horizontally. Where do we want us to go? In this case, do we really need to bend it before? Let me see. No, it has to come this side first. I think it's okay. Let me zoom in here, or maybe let me create a better working environment. Let me find a perfect view. Okay, so I don't see the arrow perfectly. So the direction we're moving. And then from here we need to, yeah, this is the direction we're moving. From here we go sideways, or we can, let's see, we can shift hold to restrict it that way, and then we make sure we reference with this beam. And then from here we click, then we change the direction, going down to here, and then finish. Whoa, I made a mistake, but anyway, it's fine. One thing I like about this, you can always come and edit and modify whatever if you think you're not accurate. Like for this instance, I'll select these ones and then move according to, okay, it has to go all the way to, let me see, yeah, go the way to the center of the column, right? And then obviously this pipe was affected, so you can stretch it off by using the move node. And then I like to move it far beyond this, because once you are tampering with the connectivity of the points, you need to glue them back again. So to glue them, you have to connect point by point. So in this case, I'm going to pick this point, stretch it to there. It will snap the other pipe that has been glued to. So that's one of the important part of the aspect of MEP with ArchiCAD. So yeah, that's basically the system for collecting water here. So we can bring in our let's say Control A and bring in all elements so that we can see if it doesn't affect this room here. Oh, sorry. Yeah, I need to buy a 3D mouse, because you see now I'm struggling with 3D mouse. I can be able to access tight spaces. So let me go to the roof and pick this as my cube. Yeah, so you see here they are exposed, of which it's not a space that is habitable. Even if there is a leakage, it's still fine. There's no big damage you caused by this. Then I'm going to close it off this by runabout or sealing materials. Close it off completely. So yeah, oh, it's hidden with the slab because it was ending on the column. What we need to do is let's hide this. Let's hide this layer so that we can stretch this all the way. We can stretch it manually like this, or you go to its settings, and what you do is increase the height or the length. In this case, I'm going to cater for the thickness of the beam. I think it's around 500, so I'm going to add 500 on top of here. I think 3.6 is fine. Then okay. So if you bring all the layers, there we go. Nice and perfect. Nice and perfect. Yeah, and there is a tool to create holes on elements where MEP is affected. It's affecting those elements, and I'm just going to show you. Don't worry, you're with me. So what we need to do here is make sure these are on the same layers. You see, they're not on the layer. I don't know what happened. Or when I ran the routing, it wasn't assigned a layer. That was the problem. Okay, let me see plumbing. There we go. But that is going to affect only the bends, not the straight pipes. Let's say, yeah, I think let's isolate the whole system. Yeah. Okay, let's also bring the Let's also bring this. Let's isolate all of you guys and make sure these guys are on the same layer. Just make sure you see these ones are not. Alright, now I'm 100% sure that everything is accurate. And yeah, if you want to add more detail to your system, to your pipes, your piping, you can use, because this method is for the welded, if you are gluing your pipes together, depending on what material you're using. If you're using PVC, obviously you are gluing them, there's an adhesive that is used, but it's being categorized as welding, as you can see. But we know welding is for metal pipes. So let's see how we can play and add more detail. To add details is to add a flange. Let's select one of these elements and I'll show you. Pick that, go to connections, and then change this to flanged, and then to give you more parameters to set. In this case, we have now the B, which is the flange diameter. As it stands, it's equivalent to, or it's equal to the diameter, so we need to have it much bigger than the, so I'd say 120. That it will give me the thickness of the flange, and then the flange width, it will be 50 millimeters. I think that'll be it. Then hit OK. That's what it does to add this. Okay, I've learned the hard way, guys. If you try add flanges to the curved pipes, it will mess up the whole system. So for example, if you say, let's go back to the flange MEP system connection, change this to flanged, and then set this to 50, the flange diameter to be 120, and then hit OK. You see, you would have to deal with the disjoints of the elements. They will be disconnected and the entire system will be messed up. Rather, select all the straight pipe, do it on the straight pipes only. Like in this case, I'll use the straight pipe, and then I will go back to the MEP system, change it to flanged, set this to 50. I'll set this, no, set the flange width to 120 and hit OK. So that won't affect my system anymore. Oh, it didn't change for these two, because these two are different too, because this is a takeoff tool, this is just a straight pipe. So you have to be aware with that, because they are different. The system it's comprised of different tools like straight pipe, bent pipe, takeoff, and then the ones that reduces the the diameter of the pipe. So you know it, right? When you want to, the pipe can come as 100 millimeters diameter, but at a certain point you'd want it to reduce or decrease the diameter to 70, for example. For whatever purpose, you have to use this tool. So like I'm saying, now coming to editing, you have to select them according to their group, instead of just selecting everything and then try to change it once. It won't work. Okay, let's flanged, and then set this to no, this is 50. Let's set this to 120 and hit OK. So that will be it. In this case, we are having a point like this here. Let me just show you. You see now, when you add a flange, it will cap the thing, but it has to be open because that's the discharging point. So we need to do it. Go back. Instead of setting connection for both points, because pipe has 2 points, the other point and then the other side. So they are always catered here. As you can see, the main one, that's the one we're setting, but the main two, it says set as the same main one. So we need to uncheck that and then hit OK. Oh, sorry, uncheck that and then bring it back to welded so that it can open as you can see. Okay, that's basically the fundamentals of MEP in in ArchiCAD. We have this as well. Let's see, dot connections, flanged 50. This is going to be tight because I can see it's going to be tight. Let's see, 120. Yeah, not bad. And then let's see if we have only on this point for the curve. Will we have a problem? Let's see. So let's start first with the thing, the main 2, and set it to welded. Go back to main 1, make it flanged. It's going to be 50, 120. Let's see. You see the problem now? That is the problem. So we cannot have the round pipes or curved pipes flanged, because it will always mess up. Okay, rather what I'm going to do, because we cannot add flange to this pipe because it's too small, what I'm going to do is these guys are going to change the radius curve to lower the bed radius. Sorry, let me say use 100. All right, it is on 100. Now it created a bit of space for us to place a flange, and then from here what we need to do, let's align it with the, let's align this point. Make sure you restrict it with on this, what is this yellow line? Yeah, by holding shift, and then find this point. Oh, I have to fire. There is the point. That's the point. I hope they are aligned. No, they are not. Okay, if they are not, let me do it manual. I'll say put it here. Okay, so that I can stretch this one to, okay, let me rotate it this way. Yes, stretch it to this point, and then now I can take you and drag it down to this point. From here now I have access to select this and stretch it to there. See, to glue them together. Let's add a flange now to this guy. I'm going to add flange both sides. So I'm going to say 50. This is going to be 120, something like this. Yeah, it's not perfect, but it's working. It's not perfect, but it's working. Right, so let's do the same to the other side, and drag it to here. Let me drag it to there, and then take this point to there to glue this together, and this guy's together. Yes, and I can pick parameters of this and inject to this one, just easy like that. Or let me show you how you can play around with this guys. I'll select these two guys, and instead of having 50, let's have a flange of maybe 20, just to create a realistic situation there. Perfect. That's basically, so that means this system is done. We can select all the, or Control L to bring all the layers. Didn't happen. Let me do this, and then they are supposed to be here. If we change the override, graphic override to plumbing, yes, you can now see your system in place. It's quite remarkable. When I come with this type of information at site, people get excited because they can instantly get their idea right away. But if you come with the drawing sketches, yeesh, it's going to take you a while to convince them with the idea. So yeah, I think there is a bit of a problem here. You can see this, the flanges are not part of the, they are isolated. I don't know why. And these guys are not. Okay, let's go down here and then F5 to isolate these guys. Let's use the plumbing override so that we can see and deal with the culprit instantly. You are the man. So what I need to do is to go to the settings and set it to, we need to assign it. What happened? Because it's part of the stormwater training. Oh, maybe it's the classification. That's the problem. Because this graphic override was set to, the criteria was, it was used or set to classifications. That's how normally we classify elements in ArchiCAD. You have to use classification. So if you say this is a beam, and beams can, especially a beam tool can do multiple functions. It can use a beam to do or take it out of its context by creating something different. It's unlike doing a proper beam. You get around. So you need to classify all the elements, have a system, put elements in the system that will understand what it is about. So for example, if you get here, by the way, before I go further, these are the two under this graphic override. I said there's two rules. We have this one, see-through. The see-through, I created a surface that is see-through, and I've reduced the transparency to, as you can see, I've used a surface here which is a see-through surface, as you can see there. And then assigned it here and whatever. For the plumbing, let's open it and see. I was using the classification for plumbing. So all the things that I'm doing, if there has to be classified under plumbing. You see now the graphic override, it also helps you to understand which are elements that are not assigned a class or an appropriate class, as you can see here. So if you open its settings and then go to classification and properties, you get there is nothing. So let's assign it and let's go for plumbing under D services. This is a 2010 CSI format classification system. So just select plumbing there and then hit OK. Automatically it will get back to its shape and color. Perfect. So we can now show to its, let's go back, graphic override, plumbing. Okay. Right. Let me take a break. I'll be back. It's just a break for drinking water. Yeah, I'm back now with a lot of energy, filled with intense energy. So yes, this was quite a straightforward situation. Let's go to the complex one so that we can elaborate this more and try to get the whole concept. So let me fillet these two beams. So what means is that the slab here, it will be sloping to this direction. So yeah, it will be sloping to that direction, and then I'm going to have another collection points here, and this area of the slab would be sloping towards that direction. That's how I'm going to do that. Let us now collect water from this area here, because it's doesn't have where we, okay, we have this column as, sorry about that. That's the whole energy that I was talking about. It's everywhere. Okay. Anyway, coming back to that, I was saying, because we have a column here, just like the way we did for this area, we can use it to run the down pipe to discharge water from here. But we'll be collecting water from this point, that point, and somewhere here, then connect it with this down pipe going all the way down there. So we're going to have one pipe that will run all the way across like that, but I don't think it's it's a good idea to have a pipe in the side, because that's the area for this inside the house. In worst case scenario, we would have a disaster there. Rather, have collection points around here. Let's have collection point around here. Okay, around here, so that in case of leakage we don't affect. Especially this is a master bedroom. You can imagine the owner of the house, he's the first person to call me and say, you did a shit job, you. And I don't want that. I wanted to refer me to other colleagues, to her colleagues. So decision making, and it's very important. So yeah, like I'm saying, let's have 2 points here, and then we have all this slab sloping. We can skim it. We can skim the surface of the concrete gutter to slope towards this direction. So we have 2 collection points here. Let's do that. I'll go to the roof plane. Then let's pick this. Let's pick this guy here. Then drag this guy. We already had a point there, so that's what I was saying. Place a point there. Let's get rid of the 2D information, and then we have a discrepancies here of this text. Let's right click and bring it front. Oh, it's not happening. Oh, it wants me to select this and say bring it front. All right, okay. Sorry about that. To fix the issue, it's completely out of the context, but as you know me, guys, I am. You see, there's also discrepancies with these walls there that are intruding. What we can do is just right click and also send it back, something like that. I think this, we have to make it filled with the background screen, and then choose a solid fill, no, an empty fill, so that it doesn't get affected by underneath material. Perfect. Now it's smooth and clean. So I'm going to make a copy of this guy to there. So I'm going to have a pipe running all the way like that, coming in this direction, and it's going to be discharged somewhere here. But if you look at this, we also have a duct here, but this duct is not that efficient because it doesn't have where we can collect it from, especially on the down, unless it was this one, because it has where we can run pipes through. So we don't have a choice. We will take this route going all the way like that and then drop off by this column. That's the only way we can achieve greatness. What happened to this guy? What the? I didn't move it, and this, it happens more often. That's me always. So yeah, because it's the style that I'm using, you know. This method of adding a copy by hitting Control in your keyboard by dragging elements, hey, it's not, sometimes you will mess up. You have to be up to the point when you're doing it. So okay, now I'm back to where we were. So let's run now the routing from there to there. What I'll do, also we've learned how to create the system of connecting the pipes. So I'm going to make a copy of the already existing system there, and then multiply it. So let's do this. I need to be smart. So what I'll do, I'll pick these guys like so, and then from here I don't think we need a flange to the top, to the main two. No, let's keep it welded. Yeah, it has to be something. That's when we can have the main one as 50, right? Or maybe 30, something like this. And then I'm going to copy these guys here. Let me copy them, so easy copying. Then go to the roof, make sure the suspend group is active, and I'm going to move a copy like that, just to kill time, guys. It's part of being efficient. Set one and then repeat. One attempt, then repeat. One attempt, then repeat. We can confirm that is set on a, but I'm 100% sure it is accurate. As you can see, the only challenge that I'm going to have is let me bring all the layers, because this pipe should run inside this void here, so I can see we need a small bending radius. So let me just move it somewhere there. Yeah, we need a small bending radius so that we can go all the way like that, but I can also place a bend already, so to this direction. You see what I was talking. So it's important to check these things. So let's set the bending radius to 100. Still, it's affecting that because it shouldn't be exposed here. What we can do, we still have a space here. We can select the whole thing and move it up, maybe by 50. Yes, but this will cause, no, I think it will run. I think it's fine. It's fine this way. It's fine because when they cast this concrete, so they would have to place this system on it so that it gets baked, except this. You get what I'm saying? Right. So let's say this guy shouldn't be flanged. It's going to be welded. Yeah. Perfect, and then we are good to go. Let's repeat the same to the other one, or just to kill time I can take this and group, go down. Let's get rid of this one and make a copy of this guy to there, so that we have the same results here. Okay, but for this to run, it has to go this direction, not this direction. This is facing wrongly. So what I'll do, what I can do, okay, I can select, let me ungroup, select this, pick parameters of this, delete, and then it has to go this way. Oh, sorry, we don't want flange for this. It's going to be welded, and the radius, it's 100, it's fine. Yeah, that's basically what I want. Right. and then we can start routing. I think this one would route on top on the floor plan because we have quite extensive points to navigate. So the best thing is to start by picking the height of this. Like I said, put your cursor there and then do what? Hit Z. Control C to copy the value and then paste it there. So go back to the floor plan. I hope. Let me see. So make sure the routine is on the layer. It's on the what do you call, yeah, this, because I need to start the routines right away on this pipe. I don't know how am I going to pick the coordinates of this. That's a challenging one. Okay, let me do this because it could have been easy to run it here, but anyway, I can come and join them once I've done with the routine. It's fine. Okay, don't worry about that. Let's start routine, and then we're going to pick this point. It wants us to pick. There are several available connection points at this position. Select one of them to start routine. Is the pipe takeoff? No, we don't want this. Is the pipe takeoff 2? No, we don't want that. Okay, let's say we pick this part. Okay, start routine. We pick this part. Okay, let's start routine because we can navigate where it's fine. And then we get by this corner. We curve. And then make sure you hold shift to restrict it because it has to be in line with this system, otherwise you're not going to be able to connect them. And then we come here. What happened? Oh yeah, we come here, and also it has to be centered to these guys, and then we drop it here. We drop it down by, let's say, 3.2. Should be negative because we're going down. Negative 3.2. Hit OK. We can finish our routine. Perfect. So that will be how we collecting water from this area, because we cannot run a pipe here because it's internal, it's inside the house. Same applies to here, it's inside the room. So rather waterproof this area, and then we scheme the concrete to slope towards this direction so that the pipe can run, so that the outlets can collect water, drop it down to the pipe, to the system, and then going down. If we check on 3D, so it didn't pick that. It has picked the wrong element. Okay, the best thing to do, but yes, this thing made my life easier, because now it's also important for the pipe to be supported on the concrete. We don't necessarily need this. We can delete or get rid of this guy. You get what I mean? And then this guy, stretch it to here, and then delete this one. We join these two guys to, oh sorry, no way. Let's unflange this one. Let's make it welded, because that's the one, that's the reason why it's not connecting. So now I can pick this point and then connect them. You see, glued them together. So you cannot connect them while they are flanged because they will not recognize the gluing. So it's important. Okay, now this challenge came at a rescue, because this way it's easy for me to, and easy for the contractor to support the pipe. They just hang it on the slab, and you don't necessarily need that drop off. All right, that was it. Let me right click and hide this layer, so that, because now I have a situation to connect these two. I'll pick parameters of this takeoff pipe, and then, like I said, find the midpoint of the pipe, and then indicate the direction of to the up, like that, and then let's get rid of this pipe. So this guy, we can move him back to there, and then also we can bring him to this, oh sorry, let's move him, drag him to here, right, and then move it back to its position. Cool, right, perfect. And then let's see, I can drop down a pipe a bit. Let's say, because I've seen the let's bring all the layers in and see. You see the pipe, it's right slightly on the slab. I want it to flush with the surface of the slab, so I'll select the whole system. Let me right click and show all, so that I make sure the whole system is being selected. All right, oh sorry, and then I'll drop off this guy by 50. 50 is too much. I may drop by 30. I think that is perfect. All right, maybe 25. Yeah, all right, and then let's do the same to these two gentlemen. Or instead of dropping this, I can slope it off. Let's slope this pipe a bit, and that will help us now to start our takeoff. It's important to slope pipes. So to slope it, to slope it, I would pick the point and then use the elevate node. Okay, if I'm not seeing, it's not gluing together. Let's move it somewhere here, and then I'll try to glue them. It's not happening. It's not happening. Okay, that's not gonna work unless let's just drop this. Oh, this is what I'm referring to. Let me just drop this as well by 25. Yeah, something like that. Then this will be also down there. We can hide. Let's hide this slab. Select it and hide, so that for them to be connected, like I said, you need to take off the flange. So I would say weld it and then bring it to the, so that I can come back and flange it. Yeah. Make it 50. Let's make it 50 instead of 30. Perfect. Okay. So it will be running here. You see, it's not affecting the internal also, the internal of the building. You see, it doesn't affect the interior, it's outside the habitable space. So in case there's a leak, it's doable. So now let us see how we can link this system with this one. So we don't, sorry, I can do it on the roof plan. Let's select over these guys. Make sure the group is active, then isolate. Yeah, let's say ungroup and then delete these guys. Get rid of you, getting rid of these guys. They're not that important. All right, and then let's use it off taker or take off. To that, I'm gonna use it here as well. This I don't think it will work. Let me try see if I bring it down to here. It won't glue. Let's delete him and then set another one. Okay, so from here what we need to do is let's align it. To align, I'm going to move it outside so that I can be able to see the point. Sorry about that. Then if I move this guy to here, oh sorry, if I move this guy to there, right, and then make sure he's sitting on the right position. Let's do the same to this guy. Bring him back by picking the point and snipering this point. Move it up to, once the cursor shows you the star, then you know. So like I'm saying, let's move it aside. Right, we pick the point, and then we know that's the point. Okay, now we need to select it and move it back to the midpoint. It will snap. What's the word? It will snap the midpoint. Yeah. So I'll just move it there. Okay. And then the whole system gets now complete. So what I need to do is just to place some flanges around the T pipe or straight pipes. All right, there we go. Yes. And I'm going to go to the settings. I'm going to flange it for both sides, 50, 120, so that our system becomes complete. As you can see, yeah. Perfect. So let me check the classifications. Are they on the right? Okay. So bring on the entire model. Then let's see. Oh, we need to address the height. Let's delete that, and then this will stretch it back to here, and then we need to open it because we don't need a flange for the main two. Weld it back. Yes, perfect. That's basically how you do it, right, on your roof plane. Okay, we started off here, we moved down to there. Let me get rid of the 2D because this was just some guidelines. This will be that. Yes. Yeah, I'm impressed with the whole system, how it came about. Then will be, you see, I've already made this one with some 2D line, just a sketch. We have 3 outlets here, and then these 3 outlets will be joining to the main pipe. Same place here, then they will run all the way like that, because here we don't have it's not a habitable space. It will run like that, and then drop off here. Okay, and also it can also have this side as well. Right. Okay, thanks guys for tuning in. I'm glad I've managed to share with this. I hope you guys you've learned something today on this video. So comment below and give me the feedback. What do you think about this type of drainage, and what is it exactly you've picked on this video? Where did I not explain it clearly? Go to the comment section and let me know. If I had to do a separate video, I will. That's the whole agenda for me, to keep on helping and sharing the information that I have. Whatever I learned that day, I want to share with you guys. Okay, thank you.